Hare Krishna. So welcome everyone to our weekly Bhagavad Gita overview classes. So today we will begin chapter 1. Last time we had the introduction and we will dive into verse by verse explanation of Bhagavad Gita in a overview format. We will not go into the purports and you can read the purports at home. And this overview will help you in the overall understanding of the Gita and the important concepts discussed here. So let's begin. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadate Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shabadhutam Parijana Shahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Picharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evachanam Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanto Radha Kanto Namostute Saptakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivashadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Okay. Okay, so we have already seen the introduction and how Bhagavad Gita is important, the overall structure of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita has total 18 chapters. So in the beginning, the first 6 chapters are related to mainly Karma Yoga, and the middle 6 chapters are related to Bhakti Yoga, and the last 6 chapters are related to Jnana Yoga. The essential message of Bhagavad Gita is Bhakti Yoga, and Krishna will explain why he is recommending Bhakti Yoga, although there are many paths. So let's dive deep into chapter 1. So first we'll see the overview of chapter 1, and then we will go verse by verse. I highly encourage you that you can take notes while listening to this so that you can capture important points, and also you will remain focused while hearing. So what happens in the chapter 1? So basically this Bhagavad Gita is a part of Mahabharata. So Srila Vyasadeva, who is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Vyasadeva is called a literary incarnation of the Lord. So at the end of Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna is going back to his own abode and Kali Yuga is starting, at that point Vyasadeva appeared. And one of the main purposes for the appearance of Vyasadeva is writing down all the Vedic knowledge, because the Supreme Lord knew that people in the Kali Yuga, they will not be able to memorize things so much. Before Kali Yuga, Vedas were memorized. The Guru used to teach the Vedic knowledge to the disciple, and disciple would memorize that. But in the Kali Yuga, people are not that qualified. Prayena alpayusha sabhya kalo asmin yuge jana manda sumandha matayor manda bhagya hi upadruta. So it is explained in Kali Yuga, people will have manda sumandha mati. And we can experience that also. Like small little things we cannot remember for a longer time. Okay, we tend to forget so much. Everyone is struggling with this problem. So yes, that is already predicted in Srimad Bhagavatam that it will happen in Kali Yuga. And therefore, Vyasadeva, being compassionate towards the people of Kali Yuga, he started writing the different scriptures, different Vedas like Rig, Sam, Yeju, Atharva. Then he wrote different Upanishads, which are further explanations of the Vedas. Then he wrote different Puranas, like 18 Puranas. So at that time, Vyasadeva wrote 17 Puranas. He did not write Bhagavata Purana or Srimad Bhagavatam at that point. So then Vyasadeva also wrote the Itihasas like Ramayana and Mahabharata, which are the great history. One history is from the Treta Yuga, which is around 2 million years ago. And another history is recent, that is Mahabharata, which is 5,000 years ago. So Vyasadeva wrote these two histories, along with that Puranas, Upanishads, and Vedas. And after writing so much, this is a philanthropic work because Vyasadeva does not need writing. He is the direct incarnation of the Lord. He can remember everything. But still, he wrote everything for the benefit of people in Kali Yuga. Okay. So this is a great philanthropic work. But still, Vyasadeva was feeling some dissatisfaction inside the heart. So he was meditating on the Lord that please help me diagnose what is the reason for my dissatisfaction. So at that point, Narad Muni came to Srila Vyasadeva, and Narad Muni chastised Vyasadeva that what you have done, the things which you have written, they are not glorifying the Supreme Lord directly. So you are missing something, therefore you are not satisfied. So then Narad Muni instructed Vyasadeva to write a literature in which the truth about the Supreme Lord is fully explained. In all the Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas, and Itihasas, Vyasadeva has partially explained the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He has not explained the different features. He has not explained the depth of the Param Tattva in detail. So therefore, Narada Muni advised him to write Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the complete science of Krishna consciousness and Bhakti Yoga. So Narada Muni told, once you write this ultimate science of Krishna consciousness, you will be happy. So then finally, Vyasadeva meditated on Lord Krishna, and Vyasadeva wrote this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is called the Bhagavat Puran. And in Bhagavat Puran, we can see there are so many pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are so many instructing pastimes like of different kings, their lineages, all those details we can see. And also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we can see the scientific theories like embryology is described in 3rd canto. Okay. And then the geography of the universe is explained in the 5th canto. And there are so many predictions about what will happen in the future, what kings will come. Like the prediction about Chandragupta Maurya is there, prediction about Chanakya is there, prediction about Lord Buddha, Kalki, all the predictions are there. And already some of the predictions have become true. Like prediction about Buddha, Chandragupta Maurya, and Chanakya. Although Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled 5,000 years ago, these are recent histories, and that we can verify the authority of Srimad Bhagavatam, because Vyasadeva is the Supreme Lord. So whatever he is writing is not some imagination. He knows everything. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Veda ham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mamtu vedana kastana. Krishna knows past, present, and future. And so Vyasadeva also, because he is the literary incarnation of Krishna. So he knows the exact details of the universe and the mysteries. As modern scientists, we are guessing. We are trying to observe the nature and we are trying to fit some model. So this is our guess or anuman. But the Supreme Lord does not have to make a guess because he is the creator. So therefore, my point was that Vyasadeva wrote all these things, and in the Itihasas comes this Bhagavad Gita. So in Bhagavad Gita, this is the basic understanding of spirituality, where Krishna explains about different yogas, the law of karma. Like in Bhagavad Gita, 5 topics are discussed: Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Okay, you can take a note of it. What are the 5 subject matters discussed in Bhagavad Gita? Ishvara means the Supreme Lord. Jiva means the spirit soul. Prakriti means the material nature. Kala means the time factor. And karma means the fruitive baggage or fruitive reactions of the living entities. So all these 5 things are explained in Bhagavad Gita. And this is a basic understanding of spirituality. Once we know the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, we can lead a very wonderful life. We will be knowing all the secrets of this universe. Although this universe is miserable, we will know the secrets how to remain happy in this miserable world. So that is basically Bhagavad Gita, how to stay happy in this world. Okay. So now this chapter 1 is starting because it is a part of Mahabharata. There is a little bit of Mahabharata context required. So what is happening in chapter 1? So we can see here Dhritarashtra and Sanjay in this picture. So Dhritarashtra is the father of Kauravas, or 100 brothers. So there are in Mahabharata, Kauravas and Pandavas are explained, and there was some dispute regarding the land. The Kauravas are not depriving the Pandavas of their righteous land, and they are not giving that. So therefore, there is some dispute. So the father of the Pandavas are Pandu, and the father of the Kauravas are Dhritarashtra. Okay. So Pandu actually died an immature death, and now all the Kauravas, 100 Kauravas and 5 Pandavas, they are under the supervision of Dhritarashtra. So although Dhritarashtra is their uncle, because Pandavas do not have their father, it is a responsibility of the Dhritarashtra to take care of the Pandavas as his own son. But Dhritarashtra did not do so. That's the main cause of this Kurukshetra war. And also Dhritarashtra is the king who is in the royal throne. So it is a responsibility of the king to take care of each and every living entity, not only human beings. King's responsibility is to take care of each and every living entities in the kingdom. So what to speak of own nephews? Okay. But Dhritarashtra could not do that because he was very much affectionate to his sinful son, Duryodhana. Whatever Duryodhana says, Dhritarashtra says yes. And he did not rectify Duryodhana anytime. He could not control the sinful propensity of Duryodhana. And that's one of the causes of the war of Mahabharata. So Krishna came as a peace messenger between the Kauravas and Pandavas, and Krishna came to make a peace so that the war does not happen. But Duryodhana was so adamant. He was telling, I will not give away a single grain of land without war. So Duryodhana was adamant, and therefore they were sure to die, because the reason for appearance of Krishna is to annihilate the miscreants and to protect the pious. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam, and dharma samsthapanarthaya, to establish religion, the principles of religion. That's the reason for appearance of Krishna, one of the reasons. So because Duryodhana, Kauravas, and all the kings who were joining the Kaurava army, they were on the side of religion. And Pandavas were religious, and all the kings who joined the Pandava side, they were religious. So this is not only a fight between family members. It's not between a single family. It's between religion and irreligion. And Krishna is directing that fight. And ultimately we know that Yatra Yogeswaro Krishna, Yatra Partha Dhanurdhara, Tatra Shrir Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. Wherever there is Krishna, wherever there is Dharma, victory and opulences are guaranteed. So ultimately we see Pandavas win and Kauravas are destroyed. So in this first verse only, we can get the mentality of Dhritarashtra. The first verse, this is the only verse spoken by Dhritarashtra in this chapter. And you can memorize this verse. This is the beginning verse of Bhagavad Gita, and very famous verse. And you can try to memorize. So this verse says, Dhritarashtra Uvacha. So the word Uvacha means Dhritarashtra said. Okay. So in different places we will see, sometimes we will see Sanjaya Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha means Krishna is speaking. Arjuna Uvacha means Arjuna is speaking. And then Dhritarashtra is speaking. Sanjaya is speaking, like that. So what is Dhritarashtra speaking? Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. So most of the verses of Bhagavad Gita are in the Anushtup Chanda, means every line contains 8 syllables. Dharma kshetre 4, kurukshetre 4. 4 plus 4, 8 syllables. Samaveta 4 syllables. Yuyutsava 4 syllables. So again, so this is how we can see each of the line contains 8 syllables, and this meter is called Anushtup Chanda. And for singing Anushtup Chanda, we have to adapt to this tune. La 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 la. So this will cover majority of the slokas in Bhagavad Gita, and there are one other tune we will see when we encounter such a verse. Okay, that is 11th syllable. So now this verse says Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre Shamaveta Yuyutsavaha. So Kurukshetra is also known as Dharma Kshetra. Okay, so in Kurukshetra, Kurukshetra is the land of the battle, and this is Dharma Kshetra because this is a very pious land, and there was a very pious king named Kuru, and due to his pious nature, this land was known as Kurukshetra. So this is known as Dharma Kshetra. Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Samaveta means they are assembled. Who assembled? Pandavas and Kauravas are assembled. Yutsavaha, with the intention of fight. They have assembled in Kurukshetra. And by the way, Dhritarashtra is not at Kurukshetra. Dhritarashtra is sitting at Hastinapur. And Sanjay is narrating the incidents which are happening in Kurukshetra. So Sanjay had that vision. Sitting in Hastinapur, he can see what is happening in Kurukshetra. Why he got this vision? Because he is a disciple of Srila Vyasadeva. And Srila Vyasadeva is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So Vyasadeva empowered Sanjaya with this power that sitting in one place, he can see what is happening in other place. But Dhritarashtra cannot do so. And Dhritarashtra was blind also. So Sanjay is narrating the whole war, the updates about the war. So this is, you can call the technology of television. So now to make a television, we have to depend on gross things. Like now the televisions are made from gross matter. There are radio signals, transmitter, receiver. These are gross things which can be sensed using our different senses, eyes, ear, nose, touch, skin, like that. But in ancient times, like in Mahabharata, for a television, they used to depend on subtle yogic methodologies, not gross things. So there is no requirement of any gross transmitter and receiver. With your yogic siddhis, you can see. So this is a more subtle science. Anyway, so Sanjay could narrate all the incidents, what is happening over there in Kurukshetra. So this is the first question of Dhritarashtra, that Pandavas and Kauravas assembled in the Kurukshetra. And this is a very important term. Mamaka Pandavas Chaiva. Mamaka means my sons. And Pandavas Chaiva means Pandu's sons. They have assembled. Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. What are they doing there? So Dhritarashtra said that Samaveta Yuyutsavaha. Yuyutsavaha means they have assembled with the intention of fighting, the intention of battle. And then again he is asking Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. What did they do? This seems to be a foolish question. That although Dhritarashtra knows they have went to Kurukshetra for fighting, and why he is asking what they are doing, they will fight, obviously. There is no doubt about that. So why he is asking that? Because Dhritarashtra is very much concerned about his own sons. Here comes the significance of the word Dharma Kshetre, because Kurukshetra is a land of piety. And he knows very well that my sons are adharmic, they are irreligious. And Pandu's sons, they are dharmic and they are religious. So there is a higher probability. So Pandavas will get the home ground advantage because this is a pious land and the Pandavas are pious. They will get advantage. And there is a less chance for my sons to win. So Dhritarashtra is frightened and he is concerned. He is anxious about his own sons. So therefore he is asking, what is happening? What did they do? Did they start fighting or what is happening? Now, so this is the first verse. This opens the Bhagavad Gita. Then 2 to 11, we will go to Kurukshetra. Like Sanjay will start narrating what is happening in Kurukshetra. So this is just the beginning of the battle. And Duryodhana is playing some diplomatic moves. He is trying to encourage all the different fighters, all the different warriors who are on Kaurava side. So Duryodhana is trying to motivate them to fight in a very diplomatic way. We will see what Duryodhana is telling. And then from verse number 12 to 20, we will see that before beginning of the war, there are a few signs and symptoms which say that Pandavas are going to win. The war has not started yet, but still Some symptoms are telling that Pandavas will win. So those symptoms are explained. What are those symptoms? The conch shell, blowing of the conch shell. In the beginning of the battle, both parties blow their conch shell. When the Kauravas are blowing their conch shell, it sounds normal. But when Krishna and Arjuna is blowing their conch shell, it sounds divine. So by hearing the conch shell blowing, only a person who is intelligent, he can understand who are more confident, and he can predict the outcome of the war. And there are other signs of victory as well, like Arjuna's chariot is known as Kapi Dhwaja. The word Kapi means Lord Hanuman. Dhwaja means flag. So Arjuna's flag has this Kapi Dhwaja, means the sign of Lord Hanuman is there in the flag of Arjuna. So wherever Hanuman is there, victory will be there. So this is another sign that Arjuna will be victorious. What is another sign? Another sign is Madhava. Krishna's another name is Madhava. Krishna is on the side of the Pandavas. This is the biggest reason that the Pandavas will win. And Madhavi is one of the names of Lakshmi Devi. Okay, Lakshmi Devi's one name is Madhavi, and Lakshmi Devi is known as the goddess of fortune. So, and Krishna or Vishnu is known as the husband of goddess of fortune, husband of Lakshmi Devi. So when the husband of goddess of fortune is present with you, the goddess of fortune will also be present with you. So therefore, all fortune is on the side of Arjuna, and Arjuna is going to win. Another symptom is the chariot which Arjuna is using is given by Agni Dev, and this is an invincible chariot. So that's another sign that Arjuna will be victorious. Now from in the verse 21, this is chapter 1, and Arjuna still considers Krishna as his friend. And Arjuna loves Krishna very much. Out of friendship, he is serving Krishna. But he does not know that Krishna, he knows something that Krishna is a very important personality. But now, before Bhagavad Gita, the Yogamaya potency of the Supreme Lord covered Arjuna, and Arjuna is acting like an ordinary person. In this chapter, chapter 1 is also known as Arjuna Vishad Jog. So in this chapter, Arjuna is lamenting like an ordinary person, like an ignorant person, he is lamenting. In chapter 2, 3, in other chapters, Krishna will clarify the doubts of Arjuna. Arjuna is having a lot of doubt, confusion, like an ordinary soul. So why is it like Arjuna is acting like that? Arjuna is a liberated soul. He is an eternal associate of Krishna, but still he is behaving in an ordinary way. Why? Because the Supreme Lord has covered Arjuna with his Yogamaya potency, and therefore Arjuna is acting like an ordinary person. And this is done purposefully so that through Arjuna, Krishna can give these teachings to ordinary persons like us. Arjuna is not ordinary person. He is exalted personality, but Krishna gives the teachings to us through his devotees. So therefore Arjuna is asking like that. So Arjuna is ordering Krishna. Arjuna uvacha senayor ubhayor madhye ratham sthapayami achyuta. Arjuna is ordering Krishna that, oh Krishna, take my chariot in between the two armies. I want to see both the armies. I want to observe. So therefore this chapter is known as observing the armies. So still Arjuna does not know about the supremacy of Krishna. And when in 11th chapter Krishna will show the universal form, then Arjuna will realize what mistakes I have done. I have ordered this Supreme Lord as my friend, and Arjuna will ask for forgiveness. But now Arjuna is instructing, ordering. He is considering, oh, Krishna is just my friend, and now he has become my Sarathi or chariot driver. I can order him. So no problem. So Krishna purposefully takes the chariot and brings the chariot in front of Bhishma and Drona, because Arjuna had a soft corner for Bhishma and Drona. These two personalities are most respected by Arjuna in the Kaurava, the whole Kaurava army. So by seeing them, Arjuna became bewildered. Arjuna told, I cannot fight. What is the point of fighting? I cannot kill Bhishmadev. Bhishmadev is my grandfather. He is so much affectionate to me. Yeah, and there is Dronacharya, who is my Shiksha Guru, who has taught me all these things. How can I apply my weapons to him? This is impossible. And then Arjuna gave several arguments for not fighting. So although as a Kshatriya, it is duty for Arjuna to fight against irreligion. Wherever there is irreligion, Kshatriyas have to fight. This is their dharma. This is their prescribed duty. But here Arjuna is becoming biased because the irreligious persons are coming from the family of Arjuna. Therefore, Arjuna is not ready to execute his duty. So this also happens with us. Although we know we have to do this, this is our duty. Still, due to some considerations, some confusions, some doubt, we are not able to execute what we are supposed to do. So Arjuna will now present different arguments to Krishna for not fighting. And then these arguments will be refuted by Krishna in the second chapter and the third chapter. So what are the arguments Arjuna is giving? First argument Arjuna is giving is compassion from verse number 27 to 46. This is the end of the chapter. So first argument is compassion. Arjuna is telling, I am becoming compassionate to fight with my family members. I cannot fight. I cannot fight with my own family members. So that is one reason I cannot fight. The second reason is no enjoyment. Even if I fight and kill them in the battlefield, they are my family members. If they are killed, what is the point of winning the battle? Even if I win, with whom I will share my happiness? Whenever we achieve something, we tend to share it with own people, family members. But when there is no family members, like Arjuna is a very broad-minded person. He is not only considering the 5 brothers as family, he is also considering Dhritarashtra and Kauravas as their family. So this is the broad-mindedness of Arjuna, and that is the narrow-mindedness of Dhritarashtra, that he is considering Mamaka and Pandavas Cheva, my sons and Pandu's sons. He should say, all are my sons. So therefore, we can see the magnanimity of Arjuna here. He is considering Kauravas also their family. And he's telling, what is the point of winning the battle when my family members are not there? So this is a materialistic thought. This is not a very spiritual consciousness. Arjuna is trying to enjoy materially. I will win the battle and I will share with my family members. We will have a good time. So this is material pleasure. Although Arjuna is a pure devotee, he is thinking like a materialistic person by the influence of Yogamaya potency. Actually, Arjuna is not thinking materialistic. We think in terms of materialistic pleasure. Therefore, Arjuna, as a representative of us, is presenting such a materialistic argument to Krishna. And now Krishna will clarify. Third point is sinful reactions. Arjuna is telling, if I kill them, I will incur sinful activities, and those reactions I have to suffer. Killing is not a good thing. So this is an argument of Arjuna. Although this is not true. As a Kshatriya, you have to kill the mischievous persons. That is your dharma, and there is no sins incurred. Just like in the border, there are Indian army or US army. So they have to fight with the opponent countries, right? So in that fight, if some soldier kills somebody, some opponent party, there is no sinful activity in that. There is no crime, and the government awards that particular soldier for doing that. Parambari Chakra, and there are different awards like that. But if the same person kills some ordinary person, some citizens, then the person will be jailed. So sinful activity also has a specific context. Like when you are, as a Kshatriya, you are annihilating miscreants, then there is no sinful activity. But that is your dharma. As a Kshatriya, your dharma is to kill the miscreants who are causing disturbances in the society. If you do not kill, then you will incur sinful reactions. So Krishna will clarify that. And the fourth argument presented by Arjuna is destruction of the dynasty. Arjuna is telling, if I kill all these warriors in the battle, then who will protect the family members? These warriors are the protectors of their family members, especially the children and the female members of the family are protected by these warriors. So if I kill them in the battle, so the family members and the female members, they will be unprotected, and somebody else may attack them and exploit them. Okay. And this is how our dynasty will be populated. The purity of our dynasty will not be there. So whenever in ancient times, there was a purity of Varna. In Kali Yuga, there is no purity of Varna. Everyone is Varna Sankar. So what do I mean by purity of Varna? So just like in a Kshatriya family, when there is a conception, a new child is going to come, the husband and the wife, they are pure Kshatriyas and they have a very good consciousness while conceiving. During conceiving, the consciousness of husband and wife are very important. Depending on that consciousness, a similar soul is attracted to the womb. If husband and wife are conceiving in a demoniac consciousness, a demoniac soul will come in the womb. If the husband and wife are conceiving in a divine consciousness, thinking about the holy names of the Lord, a divine soul will come. So Arjuna's concern is all these are pure Kshatriyas. If I kill them, their wives will be unprotected and some miscreants may exploit them. And then our progeny will not be very good because their consciousness will not be very good. So we will not get valiant Kshatriyas in our dynasty anymore. Till now we are getting that. This is the Kuru dynasty. Kuru was a very valiant Kshatriya. And then we had Dhritarashtra Pandu and Pandavas, Kauravas, like Arjuna. They are all very valiant Kshatriyas. And this lineage will be lost. So these are the different arguments, very powerful arguments. From a material point of view, very convincing arguments. But when we will go to chapter 2, we will see how Krishna completely destroys these arguments. So this is how Vaishnavas also completely destroy the materialistic arguments of the materialistic persons. We will see when Krishna will explain, we can see Arjuna is completely defeated. The arguments are not valid anymore. So that's the interesting part. But before going there, we have to memorize these 4 arguments. These are very important. What were the 4 arguments of Arjuna? If we do not memorize, we will not be able to understand what Krishna is refuting now. Okay. So you can take a note. What are the different arguments of Arjuna? First argument is compassion. Compassion means I am becoming compassionate towards my family members. I cannot fight. And then Arjuna presents no enjoyment. There will be no enjoyment if I kill my family members with whom I will share my victory. So that's the second argument of no enjoyment. Third argument is sinful reactions. Means if I kill my family members, I will incur sinful reactions. And then the fourth one is destruction of the dynasty. That the family members will be unprotected, they will be exploited, and our lineage or our dynasty will become impure. Okay. So these are the 4 reasons. And now we can read a few verses. I think we'll not be able to complete the whole chapter 1 today, but we will read up to some portions. Yeah. So we will read up to verse number 21. Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjaya the diplomacy of Duryodhana and the different signs and symptoms for Pandavas to win the battle. And then in the next class, we will see the verse by verse how Arjuna is presenting the arguments. These 4 arguments. These are the summary. And now we will see verse by verse. So the first verse we have already seen. Dhritarashtra is asking. Now Sanjay is replying. Okay. So try to recite these verses also along with me, because we will read each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita. Then if you recite, the whole Bhagavad Gita will be recited. And that is also a very great spiritual achievement. At the end of the course, you have recited each and every verse of Bhagavad Gita. And you know, regarding this, Sankaracharya, who is a great Acharya, he says, Bhagavad Gita kinchita dhita ganga jalala bakanika pita sakridapi murari samarcha kriyate tasya jamena na charcha. If someone who has got the human form of life is reading at least a few verses of Bhagavad Gita kinchita dhita Ganga Jalalabha Kanika Pita, has drank a few drops of Ganga's water, and Sakridapi Murari Samarcha, sometime in his lifetime he has at least once worshipped Krishna. If somebody has done these 3 things in the human form of life, Kriyate Tasya Yamena na Charcha, he will not be taken to the court of Yamraj for analysis of his Pap and Punya, Sarga and Narak. He will be directly taken back to Godhead, or he will be taking a birth in the next lifetime as a devotee. So there is the Yamaraj, you will get out of the jurisdiction of Yamaraj. Okay. So what to speak of reciting the whole Bhagavad Gita? So that's a very great spiritual achievement. Nandita, you have some questions?
No, Ratin, there is something problem with my phone. I'm not able to
Okay.
understand what's going on. So
Okay.
I just want to understand where to open the Bhagavad Gita from.
Oh, so Bhagavad Gita is available in Vedaves.
No, it's in my hand. It's in my hands. Like with you, should we read in ourselves?
Yeah. You can read. So I will read each of the verses. So when I am
Hmm.
reciting, you can also recite with me, and
Okay,
then we will go to the translation. Okay.
sure. I'll just leave the meeting and rejoin in 1 second. Yeah,
Okay. Sure.
thank you. Yeah.
So yes, we are seeing that now Sanjay will start speaking. Sanjaya Uvacha दृष्ट्वा तु पाण्डवानीकां व्यूढं दुर्योधनस्तदा आचर्यमुपसङ्गम्य राजवचनमब्रवीत्. So Sanjay is telling, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formations by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Teacher means Dronacharya. So Duryodhana is going to Dronacharya first in the Kaurava army, and after looking over the army arranged by the military formations by the sons of Pandu, after seeing Pandava's army formation, Duryodhana is now going to Dronacharya and spoke the following words. What Duryodhana is speaking? Pasyayitum Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyuram Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So Duryodhana is very, very diplomatic. I will explain why. So Duryodhana could have said many things, motivating Dronacharya, but he is taking the name of Drupada. Here Duryodhana is doing some diplomacy. So Dronacharya and Drupada, they were good friends. So for this story, you have to know Mahabharata. Mahabharata gives this context. Okay. If you want to know in detail about Mahabharata, there is a series I can share in the group. So you can watch that series of Mahabharata, then all these things will be clarified. But throughout the Gita course, wherever some portions of Mahabharata is required, I will give you the context. So this Dronacharya was the teacher of both Kauravas and Pandavas. Dronacharya taught them the science of operating weapons. So Dronacharya and Drupada were very good friends. Now Drupada became king and Dronacharya was a Brahmana. He became poor. Okay, so Dronacharya came to seek some help to Drupada, and Drupada rejected. He told that we are not equals. Friendship happens between equals. So Drupada became little proud and he rejected Dronacharya. So then Dronacharya, he was very determined and he learned this science of operating weapons, and he trained his disciples like Arjuna. Okay. And he wanted to take revenge on Drupada. So then after taking revenge, then Drupada also wanted to take further revenge on Dronacharya. Okay. So then what Drupada did a fire sacrifice and created a son and a daughter. So Drupada had a son and a daughter. The son is Drishtadumna and the daughter is Draupadi. From Drupad to Draupadi, right? So Drupada conducted a fire sacrifice, and there Drishtadumna and Draupadi manifested from the fire sacrifice. So this Drishtadumna was created just to kill Dronacharya, because Drupad wanted to take revenge on Dronacharya, because Dronacharya trained his disciples and attacked Drupada's kingdom. Okay, so now this Drishtadumna is very powerful warrior, and Dronacharya is so magnanimous. Although Dronacharya knew that the whole purpose of Drishtadumna is to kill me, still Dronacharya gave good training to Drishtadumna. Dronacharya also trained Drishtadumna. Can you imagine? if I know that this person is going to kill me in the future, still I am giving him the teachings of how to operate weapons. So this is how Dronacharya was a very great personality. And now Duryodhana is taunting for that to Dronacharya. The Dronacharya, see, although you knew that Drishtanu will be cause of your death, you have trained him so well. Now you see how expertly they have arranged the armies and they are standing against you to fight. So this is your mistake. Now please do not make the similar mistake now. So you fight with full courage and do not have any compassion towards the Pandavas and Drishtadumna now. You have already committed that mistake. So now become serious. So this is the actual words which Duryodhana is going to, Duryodhana is intending to say to Dronacharya. But he is telling in a diplomatic way. He is telling, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu. So expertly they have arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada, means Drishtadumna. So this is how Duryodhana is instigating Dronacharya. Atra shura maheshvasha bhimarjuna samayudhi yuyudhana viratascha drupadascha maharatham. Here in this army are many heroic bowmen equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna, great fighters like Yuyudhana, Virata and Drupada. So he is telling there are many heroic archers and heroic warriors in the Pandava side. So like Bhim and Arjun, Yuyudhana, Virata, Drupada, they are there. So Duryodhana is trying to tell Dronacharya that they have a lot of good fighters. So therefore do not become compassionate. This is my request. Dhrishtaketuscha Kitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purojit Kunti Bhojascha Shaivyascha Narapungava. So there are also great heroic powerful fighters like Dhrishtaketu, Chakitana, Kashiraja, Purojit, Kunti Bhoja, Shaiva. These are the religious kings who joined the side of the Pandavas. They are also fighting from the Pandava side. And Duryodhana is enumerating their names. Yudhamanuscha Vikranta, Uttamajascha Viryavan, Shobhadra Draupadeyascha, Sarva Eva Maharatham. There are mighty Yudhamanyu, the very powerful Uttamaja, the son of Subhadra and the sons of Draupadi. Sons of Draupadi means the sons of Pandavas. All these warriors are great chariot fighters. So first, Duryodhana is enumerating the great fighters in the opponent side, Pandava side. And then he is telling, but do not worry, we also have great fighters. He is encouraging. First, he is enumerating the opponents so that we do not take them easily. We fight with our full vigor. And then he is also motivating his own persons that we also have power, have some confidence, no problem, we can do it. Asmakam tu visishtaye tannibodha dvijuttama nayaka mama sainasya samgyartham tan brahimi me. But for your information, O Dronacharya, O best of the Brahmanas, Ms. Dronacharya, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. We also have. Who are there? First, in front of me, you are standing. You are a great person. Bhavan means you. Bhavan Bhismascha Karnascha Kripascha Samitinjayam Ashwathama Vikarnascha Soma Dattis Tathaivacha. Bhavan Bhismascha, you are there. Bhishma is there. Karna is there. Kripacharya is there. And Samitinjaya are there. Ashwathama is there. Vikarna, Saumadatti, Tathaivacha, like these different fighters are also there from our side. So now here also we can see some diplomacy. The whole conversation is full of diplomacy. Duryodhana is trying to motivate, also build confidence, is trying to taunt. He is applying different techniques. Here also he is applying one technique. So now this Vikarna is not a very important soldier or a very important warrior. Like compared to Dronacharya, Bhishma and Karma, Vikarna is nothing. And this Vikarna is one of the Kaurava brothers. Kauravas are 100. One of them is Vikarna. So why he is counting Vikarma? He is not counting even Dushasan. Dushasan is another very powerful warrior in the Kaurava side. And he is also one of the Kaurava brothers. So he is not counting Dushasan, but he is counting Vikarna. Vikarna is a very, he is not something that important in compared to these warriors. But why he is counting? This Vikarna is only Kaurava who protested against the disrobing of Draupadi. So when Draupadi was being disrobed in the assembly, so this is the only Kaurava brother who protested, who said that this should not happen. All the other Kauravas were enjoying. So therefore, Duryodhana knows very well that Vikarna has a slight inclination, slight affection towards Pandavas. But Duryodhana wants that Vikarna also fights with his full vigor. So just to encourage him that, oh, you are also one of our Maharathis. We rely on you so much. So when you give someone great importance, they tend to become faithful to you. So this is the diplomatic technique of Duryodhana. He is counting Vikarna, although he is not a great warrior, so that he gives up the affectionate inclination towards Pandavas and fights from the Kaurava side with full vigor. Ante cha bahabasura madarthe tyakta jivitam nana sastra praharana sarve yuddha visharadam. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. So there are many other soldiers on our side. Apariyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam pariyaptam tu idam etesham balam bhima virakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. So Duryodhana is building confidence. He is telling our strength is immeasurable, unlimited, and Pandava's strengths are limited because Pandavas are protected by Bhima and we are protected by Bhishma. So actually, yes, Bhishma Dev is a great fighter. Bhishma Dev was celibate whole life and he has acquired a lot of great power. Okay. And he was trained from Parashuram, Lord Parashuram also. So this Bhishma Dev is so powerful that Bhishma Dev alone can defeat 10,000 Arjunas alone. 10,000 Arjunas Bhishma Dev can defeat alone. So what is the chance of Arjuna standing in front of Bhishma Deva 1-to-1? Arjuna can defeat 10,000 Arjunas together. And Arjuna and Karna are there on the same level almost. And Arjuna is a little better than Karna. Okay. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu has a very nice analysis between Arjuna and Karna. Some people have this soft corner for Karna, but there is nothing to have soft corner for Karna because although we have so many powers or prowess, if you are standing on the side of Adharma, you will be destroyed. So Karna was standing on the side of Adharma. He was enjoying when Draupadi was disturbing. So yeah, so that is another thing. So the point is Bhishma Dev is a very powerful warrior and he can defeat 10,000 Arjunas. So Arjuna and the Pandavas, they are not winning the battle with their own power. They're winning the battle because Krishna is there. And wherever Krishna is there, no one can defeat you. So similarly, this is the teaching. If we add Krishna to our life, we will be victorious at the end. If we do not add Krishna, if we take the side of Adharma or we do some manipulation, somehow we try to become successful, temporarily we will be successful, but in the long run we will fail. But if we walk on the path of religion, we add Krishna to our life, temporarily it may seem that we are not progressing, but at the end we will be victorious. And that's the teachings of Mahabharata. So therefore, Pandavas are giving us the teaching, although initially they suffered a lot, but they continued their faith on Krishna and ultimately they become victorious. So initially it may seem because I am becoming Krishna conscious, I have to leave so many pleasures of this material world. I am losing some of my friends. So it may seem that I am losing in the beginning, but at the end you will realize that I became victorious. I got the ultimate happiness and all the bad associations went away. All the friends who will go away from you because of you becoming Krishna conscious, in the long run, you will understand they are not your well-wishers. So it is better they go away from the life. This is mercy of Krishna. When you become Krishna conscious, toxic peoples will go away from your life and true well-wishers will come. That's the beauty of Krishna. Whole life will become auspicious. Okay, so maybe we can stop here. And we will further discuss about the diplomatic behavior of Duryodhana, and also we'll see the different arguments of Arjuna. Okay. So we'll now do one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra chanting.
Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakti. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare.
Thank you everyone for attending today's session. So if you have any questions now, we can take. So I will highly encourage you to read out the purports also if possible as a homework. And then if you develop some doubts at some point, then you can text me or send me a voice message. I'll be happy to answer. Okay, so I guess there is no doubt from today's class. So we'll again meet next week and we'll continue our discussion. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna.